Well, it's time for Renault's second innings in the Indian market. They're going to be going solo this time around, and they have a brave new plan for the Indian market, which involves 5 new cars to be launched in the next year and a half. But starting off with Renault's all-new image, which is bold, more luxurious, is this new car, the Renault Fluence, and this is the one we're going to be test driving today to see what it's like. When you look at the Fluence, you realize that this isn't some cutting-edge, futuristically styled car. It isn't geometric or plain either. What it is stylish. Well, you can't expect anything else. After all, it is French. The face is easy to remember. You take one glance at it and you'll be able to close your eyes and recall exactly how the headlamps sweep up and back, all the while the slim grille sits pinned in between them. There's a manliness to it. Just look at the beefy wheel arches. The smooth belt line flows a long way back into the boot. Follow the long tail lights to the rear and you'll see a high boot that rounds off the Fluence's robust but stylish looks. It looks like a big car with a tall stance. It does have an incredible 170mm of ground clearance, and its 2703mm of wheelbase is the biggest in the class, which means we can expect a lot on the inside. When you step inside, you'll see that Renault has tweaked the interiors to make them fresh and appealing. The metal strip on the dashboard is new, as is the LCD display in the instrument cluster. Renault will bring petrol and diesel versions of the Fluence, though with only one variant for the time being. The petrol is more luxury oriented and comes with a preferred beige color for a more upmarket and airy feel. The diesel is meant to be more sporty and hence has a darker feel to it. However, the choice of colors for the interior trim on the diesel was a little disappointing, and some of the plastics just felt plain and dry. Now, the good thing about the Fluence is the build quality. It really does feel solid. And apart from that, if you look at the petrol and the diesel variants and you look at the equipment on offer, there's really a good amount of kit available. The petrol is focused more on the backseat and hence comes with AC vents at the rear, sun blinds on both the rear doors, and one even for the rear windscreen. It also gets leather upholstery, a dual zone climate control air conditioning system, a better LCD display at the center, and better connectivity for your media with USB, auxiliary in, and Bluetooth connectivity. It also gets powered folding mirrors, rain sensing wipers, rear parking sensors, and cruise control. The diesel feels Spartan in comparison. It has an antiquated connection system for your media. It has a manual air conditioning system and there are no air vents or sun blinds at the rear. Both cars get the smart card access system and manual adjust for the front seats. However, the basics are pretty good in both the variants. Well, in the back seat, you've got nice seats with excellent cushioning. You have lots and lots of knee room. What I would like a little bit more of is under thigh support. The seats are set just that little bit low because the roofline eats into the headroom a little bit. And of course, the window sills feel just a little bit high. Given that the back seat was the main focus for the petrol variant, we really weren't expecting anything great from its engine. This 2-liter 4-cylinder motor develops a healthy 135 bhp and 19 kgm of torque. That sounds okay. However, all of it is channelized through a CVT transmission before it gets to the wheels. So, when I got my head around the engine and the 6-speed CVT, it was nothing like what I expected. Now, this petrol engine and CVT transmission combination has turned out to be a really nice surprise. Now, to get the best out of this petrol engine, you really will have to rev it hard if you want to drive sporty because it is attached to a CVT gearbox. But when you do that, you will be pleasantly surprised because it's really very refined. It just doesn't feel strained. And normally when you push hard in a CVT gearbox, you get that, massive rubber band effect. You get some of that here, but still this feels very responsive. Now, if you want to add to the fun, you have the manual mode. Just tap it in there and tap down for a gear shift and watch as it shifts ratios in a flash. It just does add to the fun. If you put the pedal to the metal, this petrol and CVT combo can get this big, sturdy saloon to 100 km/h from standstill in a respectable 13.6 seconds. the engine feels peppy when you get the revs past the 2,500 RPM mark. Then it just works its way up to the red line. Now, if only Renault would offer this engine with a manual transmission as well. However, at the time of the launch, the 6-speed CVT transmission is the only option. Now, if you want to take it easy, you can just leave it in drive mode and cruise along, and the car and the gearbox just feels very relaxing. In daily duty, Renault expect the petrol engine to deliver 13.4 kilometers per litre. However, if you are looking at lower running costs, then the diesel-powered Fluence is a better bet for you. Under the hood of the diesel Fluence sits the familiar 1.5 litre common rail motor. We have seen it before in the Mahindra Renault Logan. But here, it sports a bigger turbo, uprated injectors and tweaked software. So this is a different creature. It's definitely a far more powerful one, as it has 105 bhp and 24.5 kgm of torque. So what does it feel like out on the road? Well, the first thing that got my attention wasn't the performance. Can you hear that? That's the whine from the turbo that just gives you company throughout your drive on the Fluence diesel. The gravelly note of the engine in the cabin isn't bothersome, and after a little while you get used to the turbo whine as well. However, can the engine smooth things out by delivering solid performance? Now, this diesel engine's bottom end isn't its strong point, that's for sure. Below 1500 RPM, it just feels very sluggish. It's only when you get past 2000 RPM that power comes out in spurts. It doesn't have very linear power delivery. But having said that, it does have a good amount of lugging power, and the other thing is this 6-speed gearbox. It really has a well-chosen set of ratios, and shift quality is very nice, which means you can trundle around at low speeds, sitting around in second gear without really feeling the pinch, and then slot into sixth and cruise down the highway. In the stop-go traffic of the city, the clutch might feel a bit heavy. In a straight line, the Fluence diesel hits 100 km an hour from standstill in no great hurry. It takes 14.6 seconds. Though out on the highway, I found myself getting more and more impressed with the Fluence's McPherson strut front suspension and torsion beam setup at the rear. Now, on less than perfect roads like this, the Fluence manages to isolate you from the imperfections, the choppiness of the road, and even the big bumps. It just tends to glide over them. It's only the really bad ones that will filter through to the cabin. It doesn't ever really feel harsh. And the setup was all the more impressive because of the way it coped with the high speeds we were doing. The suspension also does a very good job of making the Fluence feel confident out on the highway. It feels very grippy, it feels planted. So even doing triple-digit speeds doesn't unsettle the car. The big 16-inch rims with 205 by 60 profile tires were really good and very silent at high speeds too. The sense of confidence and enjoyment was heightened all the more by the electric steering system. The Fluence's steering is absolutely spot on. At low speeds it feels light and easy, and at higher speeds it builds up. So in weight it just ends up feeling more meaty, and at the same time it's very direct, so it's really fun to use. Mechanically, the Fluence proved to be very impressive in petrol and diesel guise. However, Renault is aware that it will take a lot more than that to get Indian buyers to put their money down for the Fluence. So, on the safety front, Renault has packaged ABS with EBD, ESP, ASR and dual airbags as standard. The petrol version gets 2 side airbags for the front seats as well. Renault is offering a 2+2 year 80,000 km warranty, and there's a 5-year anti-corrosion warranty as well. Apart from that, there's 24/7 road assistance on offer. The Fluence will be on display in 14 showrooms in 12 cities when it is launched. So, after German, Japanese, Korean and American cars, is it time to try something French? Renault has put a very confident foot forward into the Indian market with their new Fluence. It's a stylish looking car, and on the inside you have a good level of equipment. It's got excellent space, though the interiors I do wish had a bit more upmarket feel to take on its rivals. Mechanically, this car is very impressive. The suspension is very well sorted, excellent ride comfort, feels very confident. The engines have a good amount of punch. The petrol is very impressive. It comes with only an automatic transmission as of now. The diesel is offered only with a manual. These cars, the pricing will be announced a little later on the 23rd of this month, and from what we've heard, they will be priced more towards the value side of the segment rather than the premium side to undercut its German rivals, which means the Fluence's pricing should be very attractive and should help it take its competition head on.